Hello, friends. Welcome to Rupert Reads. Today we are going to continue with A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, Stave 3. Awaking in the middle of a prodigious tough snore and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together, Scrooge had no occasion to be told that the bell was again upon the stroke of one. He felt that he was restored to consciousness in the right nick of time for the especial purpose of holding a conference with the second messenger, dispatched to him through Jacob Marley's intervention. But finding that, he turned uncomfortably cold when he began to wonder which of his curtains the new spectre would draw back. He put them, every one, aside with his own hands, and lying down again, established a sharp look around the bed, for he wished to challenge the spirit in the moment of its appearance, and did not wish to be taken by surprise and made nervous. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing, and consequently, when the bell struck one, and no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came, and to this he lay upon his bed, the very core and centre of a blaze of ruddy light, which streamed upon the clock proclaiming the hour, and which, being only light, was more alarming than a dozen ghosts, and he was powerless to make out what it meant. He began to think that the source and secret of the ghost's light might be in the adjoining room, from whence, on further tracing it, seemed to shine. This idea taking full possession of his mind, he got up softly and shuffled into his slippers to the door. It was his own room, there was no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened. The crisp leaves of holly, mistletoe, and ivy reflected back the light, as if so many little mirrors had been scattered there, and such a mighty blaze were roaring up in the chimney that as the dull petrification of a hearth had been known in Scrooge's time, or Marley's, or for many, many winters gone, heaped on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkey, geese, game, poultry, brawn, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausages, minced pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, luscious pears, immense twelfth cakes, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber with their delicious steam. Easy stayed upon his couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch, in shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up high upon to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping around the door. Come in. Scrooge entered timidly. Come in and let me prefer. Have you ever seen anything that me prefer? Never, sir. Ever, I prefer that I members of the family, many for I home. I have heard the brothers for the many years. I don't think I have. I'm afraid I have not. Have you many brothers, Spirit? Oh, more than you need. A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I was last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson in which working. Now, tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me prove it. Let me profit by it. I remember to review. I remember to the face. I read to the home. To the face. And perhaps it was a pleasure the good spirit had in showing his powers off of his, or else it was his own kind, generous, hearty nature, and a sympathy with all poor men, that led him straight to Scrooge's clerk. For there he went, and took Scrooge with him, holding to his robe, and on the threshold of the door the spirit smiled, and stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling with the sprinkling of his torch, thinking of that Bob had but 15 bob a week himself. He pocketed on Saturdays but 15 copies of his Christian name, and yet the ghost of Christmas present blessed his 4-room house. What has ever got your precious father then, and your brother Tiny Tim, and Martha? We're as late as Christmas Day a half an hour. Move stage left. Here's Martha, Mother. Here's Martha. Hooray! Oh, Martha, there's such a big goose at the baker's next door. I smelt it cooking. Oh, why, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are. Kiss girl on head.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Oh, Murgatroyd, well, never mind, so long as you have come. Sit ye down by the fire and have a warm lassie. No, no, there's Father coming. Hide, Martha, hide! Bob Cratchit entered the tiny house with Tiny Tim on his shoulder and a crutch in his hand. But where's old Martha? Come, Tiny Tim, and see the pudding boil. Oh, Murgatroyd, she's not coming. Egad, not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Oh, dear Father, no be sad. Me cannot see you disappointed, even if it only joke.
You're a good girl, Martha, and a great comfort to us all. Oh, and how did little Tim behave? As good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful, sitting by himself so much, and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to remember that on Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see, Tiny Tim is growing strong and healthy. Tiny Tim and little Cratchit enter with another Cratchit child, who is carrying a big goose. Hurrah, hurrah! Here's Peter with the big goose. Me, me, me. The table is set, and all of the children sit around the table with their parents. Bob Cratchit carves the turkey, and everyone is served dinner. Oh, look at the stuffing. Me! I don't believe there ever was such a goose as this cooked. It's more tender than a woman's love, and it only cost 2 and 6pence. Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us. Oh, God bless us. Me. Parrot, tell me if Tiny Tim will live. I know. I Christian petition and not going to another owner. Up and up. Every birdie day, every birdie do it, and the Christopher's about the bird. My very word. Amen. Every to be in the herd, and not the bird. I've heard the wicked people gonna do the breakfast. I do the deed, I mean shall leave, I mean shall I. The first bird is such a fairy. The most birdies, the most birdie children. All the hair, the dinges get away the birdie. A virgin, a murdy birdie thirst. Oh, children, change the plates while I bring the nuts, apples, and oranges. Oh, Murgatroyd. Here is what will remind us it's Christmas. I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast. Oh, the founder of the feast indeed. I wish I had him here, oh, Murgatroyd. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite. My dear, the children, Christmas Day. Oh, it should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an assiduous, stingy, heart unfeeling master as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow, Murgatroyd. Oh, my dear, Christmas Day. Oh, dear, I'll drink for his health and your sake, and the day's not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be a merry, merry, happy man, I have no doubt. Oh, Murgatroyd. Spirit, take me away.
I think the very mention of my name casts gloom on what, were it not for me, would be a very happy party. And at the moment it a timmy ching. No, no, take me hence. Oh, we forgot the pudding. Hoo, 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 looky, looky, they are fine-looking children. Spirit, are they yours? Are they out to me, and cling to me, and the boy eat the ignorance, and the girl eat the wine. And both of them, and most of the first to freeze. Have they no refuge or resources? Or they're all the prisons, and all the workhouses. Oh, my very words again! I dare to be the gun, I reach the children. I ready to proceed, the team is placing, aim away for the good end. Our spirit's life so short, I'll believe it in the do tonight. But tonight, it's the midnight.
Scrooge is led by the spirit to another room where his nephew and his wife, surrounded by various other people, are around a table drinking coffee.
He said Christmas was a humbug as I live. And he believed it too. More shame for him, Fred. He's a comical little fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him. I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so. What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't had the satisfaction of thinking that he is ever going to benefit us with it. I have no patience with him.
Neither have I for a stingy old wretch.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry if I tried. Who suffers by his old whims? Himself, always. Here he takes to his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequences? He doesn't lose much of a dinner. Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner. A much better one than he could have served up in his dingy chambers. Well, I'm glad to hear it, because I haven't great faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper? A bachelor like myself is a wretched outcast and has no right to express an opinion on such an important subject. Do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He is such a ridiculous fellow. I was only going to say that the consequences of our uncle taking a dislike to us and not making merry with us is, as I think, that he loses some pleasant moments which he could do no harm. I'm sure he loses pleasanter companions than he finds in his own thoughts, either in his moldy old office or his dusty chambers. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rail at Christmas time till he dies, but he can't help think better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, Uncle Scrooge, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, if it only puts him in the vein to leave his pocket cleric £50, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday. Come, let us have some music. Here, Thomas, clear this away. We must not devote the entire evening to music. Suppose we have a game. Agreed.
The time is pleased. I forget to know, and we must hate to know. No, only half an hour, Spirit, only one.
I have a new game to propose.
What is it?
It's a game called Yes and No. I am to think of something, and you are to guess what it is. I am thinking of an animal, a live animal, a rather disagreeable animal, a savage animal that growls and grunts sometimes, and talks sometimes, and lives in London, and walks the streets, and is not made of show of, and is not led by anyone, doesn't live in a menagerie, and is not a horse, a cow, a donkey, or a bull. Now, guess. Is it a pig? No.
Is it a tiger?
No.
Is it a dog?
No. Is it a cat?
It's a monkey.
No and no. Is it a bear? No.
Oh, I found it out. I know what it is, Fred. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes, that's it. It was hardly fair. You ought to have said yes when I said it's a bear.
And that's the end of this act. And if you liked what you heard, please consider joining us again next week for the next stave. Please consider commenting, liking, and subscribing. Thank you.